Should you buy a Mac for learning programming or cybersecurity? So from all of my videos about the weapons used during the Iranian protests, I've established a pretty extensive network of students across Iran. And one of them wrote me and told me how he saved up for 7 years to buy a computer for college, and he wasn't sure if he wanted a Mac or a Windows machine to study computer science. Now, first of all, Apple actually isn't allowed to sell products in Iran, but they get them anyway, imported in through Turkey or Qatar. And they even have these fake Apple stores selling real Apple products. And I thought about this. This Iranian dude saved up for 7 freaking years so he wouldn't have to sit in the school's computer lab. You know, Iran has some great engineers, and it's because of kids like this who never stop striving. So Amir, this one's for you, but maybe it'll benefit some others that are watching. But first, let me tell you about this week's sponsor, Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN is having a big deal right now with pricing that's only $1.83 a month with 3 months extra and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Click the link in the description below. I've had people reach out to me requesting that I suggest them a VPN. I've always suggested Atlas VPN because it's what I personally use when I travel or when I do research on Russia, China, or Iran, because I can get around IP address restrictions from those countries. And it's super easy to use. Select a country of origin, click this button, and you are protected. Atlas VPN acts as a tunnel between your computer and the public internet that hackers and rogue government agents can't penetrate. So click the link in the description below to take advantage of Atlas VPN for $1.83 a month with 3 months extra and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Thanks for sticking with me. So should you buy a Mac for school if you're interested in cybersecurity or programming? So full disclosure, I own 4 computers. An older MacBook Pro, an Intel NUC, a Microsoft Surface 5, I think, and a Chromebook. And you might laugh when I can't remember the name of the model of Microsoft Surface, but one of the important things to remember when embarking on a tech career is that the hardware doesn't really matter all that much. My computer could die tomorrow, and since I have everything backed up in the cloud, I'm golden. Yeah, it would suck to reinstall everything, but it's the data that's important, not the hardware. I do most of my work on an Intel NUC, and I guess that's because it has 32 megabytes of RAM. I'm not into playing games. I'm into standing up multiple virtual machines and working with them. I also have tens of tabs open at any given time when I do research for things like videos. Chrome eats up memory like I eat up cake, so I usually advise programmers or people who want to get into programming or cybersecurity to get as much RAM as possible. That way you can have a lot of Chrome tabs open for research and run multiple VMs. Now, I bought a MacBook a few years ago when I was doing some iOS development, and if you're going to do iOS development you want to deploy to the Apple Store, you need a MacBook. But right now it just kind of sits on my shelf unused. I mainly use my Microsoft Surface when I'm lounging around on the couch or when I go on trips. It's thinner and lighter than my Mac, and the battery lasts long. And my Chromebook, well, I keep it in my Tesla so I can sit and write scripts while I charge my car. So that being said, I have a pretty wide range of computers to pick from with multiple operating systems, yet I always seem to use my Intel NUC or my Surface. And the real answer to all of this is when you're looking for a computer for school or to learn how to program or do cybersecurity, look at capability. I can do everything I need to do on an expensive desktop and a cheaper laptop. Now, for me, when I do programming, like I said, I've used a lot of virtual machines, and I use Microsoft's Hyper-V because it's super easy to use. If I want a Linux VM or a Windows VM, I can get one spinning up in a couple of clicks. Now, if you want to develop client-server applications or a web application with a backend database, you can have one running in under an hour with a few clicks using Hyper-V. And with Mac, you do have VM technology. There's Parallels, which you have to pay for, or you can use OpenBox, which isn't as easy to use as Microsoft's Hyper-V. Do you want to pay an extra $120 a year for Parallels for something you can already do for free on Windows PC as long as you have the Pro Edition? Again, you could use OpenBox, but that's kind of where the shine and luster start coming off a Mac. Everything on a Mac is either trivial to do or costs $200 to $500 more than you want to spend. And if you're getting a computer for a class and you're buying it for its capabilities, are the capabilities you get from a Mac really worth the extra money you're going to spend? Okay, so most computer science or cybersecurity students are either going to be taking notes, doing homework, writing software, writing scripts. standing up VMs to either harden or use the servers for applications. The Mac really doesn't give you any extra advantages in that capability. In fact, the only place where it really excels is iOS programming, and that's because you need a Mac for that. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is multiple monitors. This is my monitor setup. This monitor below alone costs about $900. And I usually have my email in one window and Slack in a second, and my main programming tasks below in the main monitor. Well, for that extra $200 or $500 you're spending on a single screen Mac, you can get a multiple monitor setup. And while the display on a MacBook is amazing, a larger monitor will make you more productive. So here's what I would do. Don't go buy a Mac laptop, but don't go buy a PC laptop either. Instead, buy a good PC desktop with multiple monitor support and at least one extra monitor. Most of the time, you're going to be coding or doing work at your desk. You will always get more productivity and dollar value out of a desktop. Then go buy a cheap $200 Chromebook for taking notes in class or during reports or browsing the web. If you really need to use your main desktop, use Chrome Remote Desktop to remote over your school's internet back to your desktop computer. If you're away from campus, tether your phone. That's what I do when I'm sitting in my car. I can access my home computer and all of its power from a little Chromebook that I care so little about that I leave it in the trunk of my car. So the real answer to this question is, unless you intend to do iOS development, definitely don't buy a Mac laptop. You'd be better off with getting a Windows desktop and a small Chromebook that you don't care about and an extra monitor than you would be just getting a Mac laptop. Thank you for watching.